Courage Mon Ami in here because Gregory wasn't declared for the race. But we do have Courage Mon Ami, who is at the top of the betting and is 3.5. Coltrane is half a point bigger at 4.0. Emily Dickinson, 7.0. Eldarov, 10.0, 12.0, and bigger the rest. Talking of Eldarov, step forward, Micheál Deasy.
Yeah, I think he is a cracking win place betting this. We probably may get into 3 places, but just had to look back at his 2 runs this year. Like, he absolutely flew home the first day at York after giving himself that much of a chance. He's way out the back, and it just didn't happen for him at all the last time. I think maybe 2.5 miles probably just stretched him. As we know, he's a ledger horse. He'll stay 1.6, and I think the 2 miles at Goodwood is an easy enough 2 miles. There's plenty of downhill in it, and I think if he can just travel into it as we know he can, I think he has a great chance of definitely hitting the frame and possibly even winning. I think at the 10.0, I'd be happy enough to have an even win place bet in that.
All right, Steve, where are you looking? Not for the favourite.
No, I think the Ascot form's good. I think the Courage Mon Ami is certainly a very exciting stayer. He showed it Ascot, just getting the better of Coltrane, but he's never done it on easy ground, and it's going to be quite testing. And although he's by Frankel, I think that does give him a little bit of an unknown. And he's come up against a horse who he only narrowly beat, or 3/4 of a length, he beat in the Ascot Gold Cup in the shape of Coltrane. And the favourite Courage Mon Ami does tend to pull quite hard in the early stages, and on softer ground that's obviously not ideal. And I just think Coltrane is just very professional. He's got that form on easy ground. It was on the soft side when he won the Doncaster Cup. It was also on the soft side when he made his return in the Cigaro Stakes. And so there's no problem there whatsoever. He's just a very solid horse. I mean, there might be one in there who's a bit better than him, be a bit more brilliant. But at this stage, I think Coltrane sets the kind of, he's the horse that you know will run his race, and that may well be good enough. So, yeah, it's Coltrane for me.
All right, and I'm with Courage Mon Ami off the back of that run last time. I thought, Steve, he was quite good value for it, given the way he had to come through horses and pick up. I know that Sheen Murphy felt like he was ridden with a bit of a target on his back, or he rode the horse with a target on his back, and maybe it suited Frankie and Courage Mon Ami, but I feel he's the exciting horse, the unbeaten son of Frankel. I'm not concerned about the ground. And I think he's a better horse than Coltrane and actually value for 0.5 point. I thought there might be a bit more between them in the betting. One of us, Steve, will be right.
Not guaranteed.
No. What I mean is one of us will be, as in those two won't dead heat. So.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I didn't realise they paid out if you finished 6th and 7th.
But we'll have bragging rights at the cricket match tomorrow night, at least. That's the most important thing.
I'll always give you bragging rights, Tommy, because you got the best haircut in the world.
Steve will be playing Bazball at the cricket on Tuesday evening, won't you, Steve? He opens the batting, and we call him Straight Bat Steve. We used to call him Blue Helmet Steve. He does have a blue helmet, but he wears a light blue helmet to bat in. But yeah, he's very straight batted, even though you got to hit out a little bit. But he's a very capable batsman, aren't you, Jonesy?
Well,
batter.
Just because you batter, yeah, like you get in the chip shot. Just because you play proper shots doesn't mean you can't hit the ball hard. And in fact, it probably means that you hit the ball harder. And Dees knows this because he's heard it before.
He has. We all have. The 250 at Goodwood is the Chesterfield Cup. I'll give you prices when we get to our selections. I'm going to kick us off because I really fancy one here, which is Soto Sizzler, who is a whopping, he's not as big as I thought, 15.0. He was a bit bigger than that. He, I think, has been kept for this race. He's a course winner over further. £7 lower than a run in the race last year. I don't mind his run style for the track. He's drawn 4. Ryan Moore is going to need to sort of edge out. I quite like slingshotting into the straight and coming wide. I don't think that's a bad thing. He was on the wrong part of the track in every which way at Epsom. You needed to be on the rail and up with the speed. He was off the speed down the centre of the track. Thought that was a massive markup run. I think he's very interesting. Soto Sizzler. Steve.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think Soto Scissors has got a good chance. I was very tempted by him, but I went for one at a similar sort of price in Paradias of Alan Kings, who has been fairly consistent, has got that form on easy ground, was running well last summer and won at Yarmouth on easiest ground. The run that I think was very good was at Sandown in June, beat Lord Protector, and that I thought was the kind of the win of a horse that was starting to progress quite rapidly, only 4-year-old, and that was on the back of a promising return to action. And then last time back at Sandown, I just thought the wide draw was absolutely no good at all to Paradias, and considering he'd beaten the winner Lord Protector on his previous start, that form sort of stacked up, and it was just the fact that he couldn't get in at the rear. He was too keen. He was too far back, and it was kind of never going to happen for him. And so I think that's kind of been ignored a little bit. A wide draw again in this, but that doesn't tend to be a problem over 10 furlongs at Goodwood. Plenty of horses. In fact, the last 2 winners, or 3 of the last 4 winners of this race have been drawn quite high. So that's not a problem this time, or it shouldn't be. And so Paradias at about 15.0 is my fancy in the 250. And
Dees, you like a horse drawn 3?
Yeah, I found this one hard. Hard to nail down. At about 6 on the short list. The first one that caught me was Kai's Chorister, but Dave Manuzzi is in such bad form. I think he would have been a solid bet if he had a winner in the last 2 weeks, but I don't think he has. He's just really his horses aren't running well at all. And Mock the Sab was the other one. He's just running off a featherweight and was third in this last year. But again, with him now, he's just horses aren't running well, so that kind of put me off. So the one I'm going for is Outbreak. Charlie Johnson's horse. He was, as usual, he was out busy at the start of the season. I think he's after running 5 or 6 times already this year, but he's been freshened up. He's running more than that this year, actually. He's won twice this year. He won at Lingfield in the second start, and he won at Newmarket as well on good ground. Now, I wouldn't want it to be too soft from, but again, like this is a festival that Mark Johnson did very well at. He should be fit, and the break should have done him well for freshen him up. And again, he's a double figure price, so I'll be having a win place betting him.
The Sports Elephant says Quickthorn from the front. Incidentally, this was in the Goodwood Cup. Thanks for that. And Simon O'Neill says, will it be that testing on Tuesday? Very high winds tomorrow. Let me give you the latest Turf Tracks course services information. Currently good to soft in places. Good to soft in places as of today. There is a bit of rain around today and into this evening. Dry tomorrow, then rain again tomorrow night. But very high winds around the next couple of days. I was working on good to soft, Steve. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it's not going to be decent ground. I think it's going to be on the easy side, and it's a tricky track, Goodwood. So, and it does, when it goes soft, it does tend to go a bit soupy. So, yeah, I don't think it's going to be desperate by any means. Not like where what was the horse that won of Andrew Boulding's won the Sussex Stakes, and you're like,
here comes when.
That's the fellow, and you're thinking, well, I was thinking, God, I don't know about the racer results. I just want to get out of the car park because I was right down the bottom.
51 mil of rain that day.
There's thunderstorms and everything that day, I'm sure, wasn't there?
Wasn't very pleasant.
No, it was a shoe ruiner of a day. And they you know, I like to buy half decent shoes. They didn't last. So, not like
always buy sensible shoes, Tommy. You should know that by now.
To buy sensible shoes. 325 at Goodwood is the Nicholson Gin Vintage Stakes, Group 2 over the 7. Hartem is 4.0. Iberian is 4.5, who was taken out the superlative on account of the ground. Golden Mine 6.0. I'm going to leave it there because he's the team's team. Golden Mine for all three of us, albeit Dease has got another one. But this horse really caught the eye on Hamilton on debut in what was a very good-looking maiden when he was a bit unlucky. He won at Leicester, where I thought ultimately he just shaped as though he wanted further. And then he probably shaped as though he wanted a bit further at Ascot, having had the door shut on him a bit. But that, I think, was on account of him being a bit outpaced. That's my concern. But I don't know. I thought he was still a very fair win place bet. Golden Mind, Dease.
Yeah, you've it fairly well covered there. Just more as Ascot run really. He was a bigger price when I was going through this last night. Frank Gannon as well, I suppose that will affect his price. He's probably been cut a bit for that. But yeah, look, he looks a solid option in the set.
What would you like to add, Steve?
Yeah, I thought it was a good run in the Chesham at Ascot, because he did get shuffled back at a crucial stage. He was sort of similar position to the winner, and then suddenly he couldn't hold his place. Whether that was because he just on the faster ground, he just lacked that little bit of toe to do it, or whether they just circumstances came to play. The jockey was trying to just keep him on the bridle for as long as possible, but he was only beaten less than a length. And I think that it depends how positive you are on the form. I thought the forms worked out well, the Chesham, which maybe was a little bit surprising on the day. It didn't look the deepest race, but it was certainly a good performance. And I think the easier ground might just help this horse. He's a brother to, or half brother to, Perfect Power, but who won the Commonwealth Cup. But he's got a bit more stamina thrown in from Galileo Gold. He does tend to get horses who like softer ground a little bit. A good record on softer ground, Galileo Gold. So with Frankie Dettori riding for Richard Fahey, I thought, yeah, he was. I thought he was probably the one to beat.
And at 13.0, Dease, you wanted to give a mention to
Witness Stand. Tom Clover's horse. Shouldn't he run once? Was at Chester. I don't think it was a bit of a nutting race, but I mean it was drawn wide, won by 4 or 5 lengths. Very eye catching. Absolutely trashed him. I thought this is a big step up in the second run. They probably could have found a softer option for him. And Boy Expert Eye, who was a really, really good 7 furlong horse. Again, he's a big price, so I'd probably have a little small win place betting him. Denny Tudhope is very good at Goodwood as well. I was looking at his record there. He's got a very good strike rate.
Moving on to the Whirlpool Lennox Stakes, the 4 o'clock. Kinross is 3.25. Sorry, 2.25. Isaac Shelby is 6.0. Al Sahel is 8.0. Audience is 11.0. Pogo 12.0. Bigger price as the rest. None of us looking beyond Kinross here, I'm afraid, out of 1. He won it 2 years ago, Steve. Probably half should have won it last year as well.
Yeah, you'd probably have a higher opinion of Kinross if there was a better programme for horses over 7 furlongs, because he is a 7 furlong specialist. He's much the best. His record over 7 furlongs is exceptional. He's won his last 3 races over 7, and last year he was just beaten a neck in this very race. He likes soft ground and he goes on faster, but his conditions are easy ground, 7 furlongs, and he won the race previous to last year, having come very close to following up in this race last year. And then you look at his form this season, and he was 3rd in the July Cup on fast ground, on decent-ish ground. It was just on the soft side, wasn't it, in the July Cup? So that was a perfect prep race. Like, it shows he's in good form, and now he gets the extra furlong. I don't know why the 7 furlong program is so badly designed, because they just all come in a heap. Because there's this race, the Hungerford Stakes, and the York race, the City Awards, they call it. I don't know. And they're all in a heap. And that's basically the three in Britain. That's the top 3 7 furlong races of the season, which is a bit bizarre.
Yeah, I hear you. I don't want to add anything to the selection there, Dees.
No, I think I'm sure it's just tried to find a reason why he wouldn't win it, and I couldn't. I think he has everything in his favour. He should just go out and do the business.
Yeah, job done. Hopefully, if there's one horse I don't want it to win, it's Al Sahel, who I've championed a bit in the past, and I've just given up. I think he's got loads of talent, and he just infrequently shows it. So I'll be keeping an eye on him, hoping he doesn't do the business. But he was held in this race last year. Kinross 2.25 is our team selection for that. Anything else then on day one? Both Deasy and I have got one in the opener. I'm with Lord Ridderford, who's managed to come down in the weights from last year. He was successful. He is ideal for this straight course at Goodwood, and he was a fair enough price, I thought. So Lord Ridderford, he's drawn the other side now. He's drawn 15, but actually I think they tend to come up the rail initially at the meeting, and I think that'll be absolutely fine. He won't be too far off the early pace. Dees?
Yeah, I mean, there's two of them in the first race that kind of caught my bigger prices. The first one is Designer, John Butler's horse. He has good form and good to soft. He kind of came into himself, I suppose, in August last year. He won a good race at York and ran Manaccan to a length and a half at the end of the season, then in Ascot. So I think he probably needs a bit of cut in the ground. He's had 6 weeks off. I know he didn't do much at the start of the season, but he dropped to 92. And again, he's a double figure price, so we have a little win place bet them. Another one, I was kind of hoping he'd be bigger. He's after coming in a bit, but when the deal is done for Roger Teal, he has, was it 2 years ago he won here? Yeah, he won at the festival 2 years ago. He had a 5 furlong handicap. Beat a Point of Bear. It was by far a career best, but it was in very similar conditions. There was sloppy all day. And he went very close then again last year. I think he completely bombed out last year. I was looking at the wrong race there. But again, Roger Teal is coming back into form as well, I think. I think he's having a better season. He kind of didn't do much there. There you go, come on, Simon. He had a quiet year last year, but I think he is on form this year. And if you were just lying back in his runners, you'd be up. If you were 10 on them all, you'd be up 460 quid. So that's what we want. He'd obviously have a net out for this, and I think that I'll have a little win place betting him, and I might double him. I meant to mention Ocean Wind as well in the Goodwood Cup. I think he's a big price. He ran very well the last time from a long layoff, and if he doesn't bounce, he could be running into the place towards the end. So maybe a little each way double in them. So.
Yes, Simon says when the dealing's done, my nap for Tuesday. Good luck there, Simon. Steve, anything else?
I think it's the last race, the 505. Big field, mile handicap. At this course, when you get that scenario, you want to be drawn low. Peace of Mind is drawn stall 1, and she's been too keen on the front since winning at Nottingham, and I just wonder whether William Buick will be able to sit in behind the pace and get a bit more cover and maybe settle a bit better. And if that's the case, Peace of Mind will have a really good chance. If she gets the run of the race, she's going to be way too big at what she is, about 15.0, is she? It's the penultimate race. It's not the last. Yeah, 15.0, something around there. Think she's got a chance.
All right. And we move on to our long shot. Yes, we do. It's the Matchbook Zero long shot. A reminder, you can get now a max payout on Matchbook Zero. So there's now not a £20 stake limit. The market goes live at 10 a.m. on the day for Matchbook Zero. Remember, it's zero margin, zero commission. So you're most likely to be getting best odds. You are likely to be doing so anyway with the nature of an exchange. But with Matchbook Zero, with zero commission, that's all enhanced in your odds. So maximum payouts and no margin or commission built in. So you're most likely to be getting best odds. Mine is Soto Sizzler, my Matchbook Zero long shot. So have a look at that market for race 3. Goes up at 10 a.m. every day, the markets. That's in a 250 at Goodwood and is double figure price as well. Steve, your Matchbook Zero long shot?
Yeah, in the same race, it is Paradias.
And
for all the
Deasy.
reasons mentioned earlier.
Yeah, Dees.
Mine was Outbreak in that race as well, but just for something different, I'll go for When the Deal is Done, because you can't have 3 bets in that race and you have the one Matchbook Zero.
Okay, fair enough. Well, what price is When the Dealing's Done? Was you saying a bit shorter than you expected?
I think he's about 12 or 13.0 now.
Yeah, 15.0.
Oh, lovely.
When the Dealing's Done. We haven't got any lays, have we?
No.
Is that right? Nothing there? No? Right, moving on.
Bit too competitive for me to latch onto a short one.
Yeah, I agree. And we're all with Kinross, so there we are.
Mm-hmm.
Best bets. We're going to have one per race, but you two have gone for the same race. So, Steve, I'm going to ask you for one other than Kinross, please. Mine is Soto Sizzler in the 250 at Goodwood. I really fancy him at the prices. DC?
Mine is Kinross. Yeah.
Yeah, and Steve?
Yeah, on a tough day.
I'll go for Golden Mind then in the Vintage Stakes if I can't have Kinross, because Kinross will win. But I'll go for another winner, Golden Mind.
Yeah, you can't have Kinross. It's just you need to be better than that.
All right, get your arrow.
In the 325. Don't speak to DC like that. Day 2.